Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming, and this is from the Depths Adventure mode once again for the Royal Navy. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a go through a couple of things that were on my mind before we get back into the adventure itself. At the moment we're relatively safe. I think there's just a sea viper around, so let me just, to be on the safe side, put it onto the pause mode, well, not pause but reduced speed mode, just whilst we are chatting. So couple of little things. First of all, just about videos, etc. I was just thinking this, there may be a delay before I do any actions based upon comments or what anybody might be talking about. That's because I'm doing these adventure videos in advance, so this particular video is being done before the previous one's even been released, because then I know what ships I brought in and then I can do the fleet reviews afterwards. So if there's a delay in seemingly in game for anything that anyone suggests or makes an idea of, that'll be why. The other one is the last video was a bit hectic because the beginning of the adventure is hectic. I had about 4 hours of video and a 50-minute video out of that, and most of it was running around and looking at what's happening in various places. And there's a shell just gone underneath my ship. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Okay, well, I'm gonna carry on because let's see what my ships do. It's always fun in adventure mode. You never know what's going to happen. We got it on slow, but as far as I'm aware, oh no, it is a new one. Let's go and have a look, shall we, while we're waiting. So another issue is in the game is going out and like looking at ships, etc. What have we got here? Oh, it looks like I can't remember what the name of it is now. Patchwork. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I will be able to survive on that. Doing things like that is easier in paused or slow time mode. In the main game, it is difficult. Somehow I've managed to get myself, I think, into a sort of a free view almost. Now I am moving with my character, but that's like one of the problems I have. And as you can tell, I like this game, but there's things that annoy me, and one of the things is like inconsistencies, like in the view, in that you press tab once and you're in first person view, and I press tab again and you're in third person view, but it's locked to your character. Why can't I press tab now to get into the free camera view, which is done in designer mode by pressing E twice? And that's a really simple, it'd be a simple change for the devs to do, I think. But instead you've got this sort of workaround on pressing E twice, and that's just ugly, inconsistent, and just not a good UI sort of way of doing it as a start. Okay, that's one thing. Also, in adventure mode, am I supposed to have that free camera view or this third person view only? In which case, how did I manage to get into that free camera view previously? Because I've tried it again. I've tried building on a ship, then going into E and coming off into build and pressing tab, and sometimes I seem to end up in that view and sometimes not. So again, an inconsistency where if that is not supposed to be available in this adventure mode, then put a bit of code in the view that says if you manage to get in this view mode and you're in adventure, go back to first person view. Go back to this view, or something similar, just to reset it. Otherwise, how did I get into that view? Because it's certainly not pressing E twice, because that does not do that. That just puts me into third person view, or it does seem to generally. So basically there's an inconsistency there. So also this is for video purposes. It makes making videos a little more difficult because I will have to be doing a lot of things in pause, and then say go if I want to look at what the Flower Corvette's doing, I've got to go into build mode and then use that to keep an eye on it and then start the game up. So not a big problem, to be frankly honest, but it is inconsistent, awkward, and that's why sometimes the video might be a little bit janky. Okay, I have got something else to talk about, but I might talk about that after we've sorted out that patchwork and see what's happening with that, I think, because he's going to be a pain until he is sorted. So let me just get everything back to normal time. There we go. Now I've got a choice. I can either just stay here. That patchwork, I don't think he's not. Let's see, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He's down here. Oh, also to see where everything is, pressing Control R helps me see where things are and such. So we got a nice big resource zone because of my system, my amount of things. Now I can't tell a distance, but he's fairly large away, so let me see if I can get my fair meals to possibly go after him. It might take a little while to start heading that way, and they might constantly keep this was part of my new fleet. I've made some changes, and maybe I need to, yeah, let's just keep. They're obviously, it's more than 3,000 meters away. That's why my troops are not going for him. So, okay, let's just hold off on that at the moment. So, my Corvette's using his gun at long range to give that patchwork a little bit of a taste of its own medicine, sort of thing. So I can't tell what distances ships come in at in this game at the moment. I'm again, someone can correct me, I'm assuming they come in at 5,000 meters away from any of my ships that are on the map at the time, or is it from my 5,000 from the home base only? So if I had one of my ships that was 2,000 meters towards that patchwork, he's getting bloody close actually. Let me see if I can get these fair meals to head that way. If he was 2,000 meters away from here, then effectively there'd only be he would come 3,000 meters away from those ships, or does he go 5,000 away from them, so he's actually 7,000 away from me? Does that make sense? The reason I'm asking is it affects what I'm going to call the fleet bubble. How far away I can expect enemies to spawn from me. So yeah, what is my sphere of influence, my bubble of sight? So if it is away from the nearest vehicle, then what I can do is create scout ships, vehicles, which are a fair bit away from me, north, south, east, west, etc. like that, and effectively extend that initial contact range. Hopefully that makes sense. It also affects what settings I need to set on my ships for contact distances, which it comes into this fleet management idea I have, which I will go into in a little while. He's still, I don't think he's going for me, you know. He's not heading for me, he must be heading somewhere else. I wonder if he's going for my poor little. Okay, I'm going to go and rescue my fair meal.
Turning to formation.
So what I'm going to do is set and bring everybody with me, and on the way we will end up attacking that patchwork. So what I've done is I've set myself a load of waypoints to keep pick up lots of materials from ships that have been destroyed in the over the last, in the last actual episode. And on the way, we're going to pick up that fair meal, which is badly damaged. It's not even showing up on the AI screen. Okay, am I out of the area? I'm not out of the area. There we are. I'm out of the area. I have an ACB. As soon as I go into a resource area, it turns me into resource mode. Now, I've noticed if I'm not in a chair, you see how my view is much nicer. Also, I haven't tried this, teleporting to somewhere else. Let's give that a go. So I am now... no, that didn't work. Come on. Q. Teleport. Oh, teleport. And I am now... Oh, yes, I am now in the Flower Corvette. Oh, that was handy. Except I've ended up somewhere where I can't get past. That's a pain. I'm going to have a quick little sort out of that, because that's no good whatsoever. Teleport into a ship and then you can't get out. That's no good. Okay, so I needed to have gone that way. So let's see. First of all, let's block off this side so I don't try and get off this side again, and then I'll come back. So let's block off this. I know that's going to be a bit crappy. Oh, okay, that's got me out. That wasn't a great way to do it, but it worked. Right, what's this Corvette doing? It seems to be doing nothing at the moment. It should be in... Okay, so I'm now on the Corvette, so that worked. Now I just want to try one other thing. So if I go into here and I want to try doing it this way, there, go back to my miner, teleport, and where am I? Okay, that worked. I don't actually have to go up to it, but I have to allow for being able to get out of where it is. So okay, I'm going to go in here, but I won't go into the chair. That'll make it a little bit more stable when I'm looking around. So where's these enemies now? We've got an enemy behind us, and we've still got that patchwork over there. He's still attacking me. Where are these fair meals trying to go? All right, the Corvette's there. Fair meal is in its position. Maybe I need to put the other fair meal over this side of me.
Moving now.
So it's in flanking positions. The HDML there.
Moving now.
Seems like their positions go a bit weird at times, so it's not always easy to work out. Ooh, and I've gone into free mode because reasons. So let's ignore the patchwork at the moment. Hopefully he won't hit me, and let's just go see where I'm heading towards. So I'm trying to go pick up those resources, then go and help my poor beleaguered... Oh, that MTB's almost out, actually. I think that Sea Viper's almost taken him. Okay, well, we'll get him... We'll help get him Revengi. We'll get Revengi. So I've gone back to there. Right, anyone now attacking? Okay, oh, I think we almost had a fair meal going into an attack position. I think I need another... Okay, so just as an idea, before I bring in another ship, and again, I just went into free mode. So it looks like if I muck around with the AI buttons, when I come back into...
Returning to formation.
I go into free camera mode. I'll have to remember that. That's an easy way for me to get into this mode. Okay. A quick little chat about idea I've got whilst my ships are heading off and we're seeing what's coming up is different ship classes and how to operate in a fleet and how I've got an idea of using my ships. Let me just make sure everyone's heading somewhere. Yeah, they're all heading somewhere at the moment. The idea, and what I was saying earlier with ranges, is the fleet should have, like, I'm thinking of 3 zones. And for each zone, there is a type of, and we've got something else actually coming up over here. Let me just see what's come over. And then we'll carry on with my chat, see if it's a problem and I need to speak a little bit later. Well, it looks like a grouper. Yeah, I'm not worried about a grouper. Certainly my ships will take like that, but that will be a nice one to see the Corvette's AA have a go at, actually. So, fleets, ranges. 3 different types of potential ranges and fleet ship types that I'm thinking of. And then there is a fleet type. So, basically, if we assume my fleet is a defensive fleet, i.e. they're defending my minor merchant, so my home base. That is its primary idea. You should first of all have escorts. So escorts, in my view, are going to stay close to my ship. You know, they're staying, I don't know, what's that, about a few hundred meters or so away from me. And only and basically give their medium and long range firepower, but staying in fleet position. Then only sort of go and head for an enemy when they are very close to us. So their aim is to stay with me and protect me in just almost all cases, unless it's very close. And then if an enemy's got very close, and my range is, say, up 1,500 meters, 1,000 meters maybe for small craft, 1,500, somewhere in that, then they go into attack mode, and their primary role is to hold up that attacking ship so it can't get through to me. Think of the last video where the Flower Corvette went for the Kalmar. Yes, it got destroyed, but in doing so, it held up the Kalmar so it didn't get my miner. So in some ways, job done. Yes, it was expensive, but job done. The Kalmar did not get to my fleet. So all my ships should be in that sort of vein. Stay close to me until a ship gets things. So that's the close fleet escort, the fleet escort role. That grouper looks like it's gone down already. I think that could be some nice materials there. Okay, yeah, grouper's already been taken down by the various hits. Sorry, we didn't see that quite as nicely as I'd like. Actually, let's head over there and get those resources. Okay, where was I? Yes. We so that's the close escort role, which most of these ships at the moment are in the fleet escort role. So their aim is to defend the flagship no matter what, basically. Stage 2, or group number 2 I'm thinking of, is the fleet defence. And that's different. Yeah, this is why we need ranges. So these ships, and the fair meal is basically, I'm now classifying as that style. Really? He's having a go at that grouper. Okay. So the fair meal would go out and, because they're fast, and intercept the ships that are inbound before they get to within that 1,500 meters. So they'd have a range of 3,000 meters, as an example. So if they get a ship that's within 3,000 metres of them. Bam, they go into combat mode, destroy, come back to the fleet. But they keep that their bubble is 3,000 metres. Now, unfortunately, it can't be 3,000 metres from the fleet. It's going to be 3,000 metres from me. So effectively, actually, if they went 3,000 metres out, their bubble's going to be 6,000 metres. I won't get complex on that, but anyway. Anyway, 3,000 metres. So they only go out when something gets close-ish. Hopefully that makes sense. And then the third style, to fulfill that role, they need to be quick, because they need to get out beyond the 1,500 metres before the incoming ship does 1,500. So they need to be about 50% to twice as fast as an enemy ship. So if the enemy ships are averaging around 10-12 metres per second, you want your ship to be 20-24 metres per second. So that's the defence. Then you've got the, what should we call it, fleet attack or fleet offence. And these are the ones that go out everywhere hunting ships. So their range would be nearer the 4,500 type of range, where they will go out and hunt enemy ships down. Oh, there's no resources from that. That's annoying. Okay.
Moving now.
Since you're not going to give me any resources, they'll go and hunt enemy ships down, and
Moving now. Moving now.
You know,
Moving now. Moving now.
get the resources back
Moving
to our
Moving
group.
now.
I'm setting up a very big little area here to
Moving
try
now.
and pick up. Let's get to
Moving
there,
now.
and then by the time we get there, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so they would go out at the very long range, hunting forces down that the fleet can then go and pick up. These need to be either, well, basically ships that are independently can look after themselves, because they're going to be on their own. They're going to wander a long way from the fleet potentially. Because if they go out, say 4,000 metres to attack somewhere, you could find that the a ship spawns. They're attacking ships another 4,000 metres away, which is why I was asking about this first bubble, and we're now looking near 8,000 metres. So that would be the fleet offence or fleet attack vessels. And I mean, I've got some ships I've sort of got earmarked for using that. Destroyers would be some that would you potentially look in there, and actually subs. They're going to go out and just hunt, basically. Aircraft, I think, might fit in that blue zone as well. Some aircraft. Where's that patchwork? It's still coming. Is anyone going for that patchwork? Not yet. Finally, the other one is if you've got an offensive fleet. So if if the flagship of the fleet is offensive, like it's a battleship, then it's a different matter. You still have all of the same first group, close escorts, and the second group, which is the fleet defence. But you might not have the long range attack, because now your battleship and the whole fleet is a long range attack. Hopefully that makes sense. So you aim straight for the enemy. Anyway, that was my thoughts on fleet, and I'm going to use that practice here. So of the ships that we've got at the moment, most of these are close. The HDMLs are close range ships, as you could imagine. That was their design. So is the Corvette and the Empire, and the fair meals, I have set them all up to effectively be fleet defence. So they'll go out to 3,000 metres. So that's why I know that patchwork is not 3,000 metres away from the fair meal just up ahead. He must be, how far away is that fair meal? That fair meal's 8, I'm not sure if it's B or 2, but anyway, he's about 500 metres up. So he's at least 3,500 metres away. I'm assuming that fair meal will go into attack mode at some point. Anyway, that's my plan for fleets. Now let's just see what we come up across whilst picking up all of these resources. And then I'm going to bring in some more ships which are either fitting into one or more of the ideas I have for ships, basically. It seemed to be okay at the moment as far as level goes, because the other choice is obviously going through one of the zones. So that's also an option for me to basically level up. But I think I would like to be one more session at this level to ensure that I am actually at an okay level and not gonna push it too far, if that makes sense. And the fair meal is finally going after the patchwork. Its range was actually 2,500, not 3,000, but that's fair enough, that's okay. But the seas have got a little rough, let's just say, especially for on a little fair meal. Yeah, but he's putting torpedoes out, so which is good. You know, in a real ship you wouldn't want to be coming up against a wave like that. But yes, this does have an effect on guns as well as everything else, because if you take a hit, you can see he's unstable. He may be showing areas of the ship he might not necessarily want to show, and torpedoes will have a problem if they come out of a wave. It does have an effect on everything. Surprisingly, the weather and the waves, you do have to allow for it. So far he's that's some serious waves he's got there, and I think he has taken out that patchwork, which is good. So hopefully he'll go into let's just check his settings. He'll go into fleet mode next. Bear with me. So basically I've got an ACB here. Let's bring up my view. If there's an enemy, oh no, we've still got enemy within 2,500. So he's seeing some enemy somewhere. Where's there another? They're over that way. Well, why aren't you steering that way? Sometimes this game, you know, you'd have thought he'd be turning around about now, but his rudder's most probably getting confused between left and right and not actually able to turn around when something's directly behind. Is he managing to go that way now? Oh, he's finally opening up again. So he's active. No one else is active at the moment. So yeah, it'd be better to have. Oh, it looks like it's coming to morning. The night is over, but the seas are still rough. Where is he? Where are they? Where are they? Still can't see them. Where the hell are they? There's one that way, which is... Oh, he's finally turning around and over that way. I'm sure he was going the wrong way then. Okay, let's go and have a back to myself in the miner. And, oh, I'm under the water. Oh, that was interesting. You saw the under the water. So there's water underneath the water. Interesting. But I can, yeah, this is big enough little ship here to be able to handle a little bit more. So we're still on a route to pick up resources. We've got another bit of resources there, and what have we got over here he's going for? A rat. Oh, okay, that's only a rat. See, this is one of those things that's picked up that rat. Now, was it because it was X from me, or was he further away and he spawned away from the Fairfield? Well, difficult to say, you know, exactly how the game works on occasion. Right, we'll get that 2,000 there. Then there. I think that's enough for the moment. I don't need any more than that. I've still got my. Actually, I need to go on. We will go and help our Fairfield, which is stranded, and we have a change of weather one more time. So the weather suddenly seems to go calm. I'm not complaining at having some calm weather, to be frankly honest. Calm weather's fine at this moment. But yes, the transitions could be a little bit slower, rather than going from what we had during that night time. Or was it because I was in with the Fairfield, which is in a different zone to me, so the change between different zones needs to be less? Just a couple of thoughts. I don't know if anyone who looks after the game watches any of these things comes up with ideas, but yeah, a smoothing of weather transitions between blocks in adventure mode could be interesting. So we've got another resource over there, but is it worth going for? No, I'm not. I'm getting to the point, I think, where if you haven't got, so that one's worth going for, because that's like a 2,000, and then we'll come back here. If it hasn't got a few thousand points, it's most probably not worth going for, to be honest. Okay, let's see what goes up. I will possibly cut the video a little bit, just to, in case there's anything interesting comes up. At the moment we seem to be just having a lot of small craft coming at us, so let's just see how it goes, and I'm going to put myself into a resource zone, and then we're most probably going to look at bringing in something else, a new ship, and or go up a level. So see you in a bit. And one interesting thing I totally forgot about, makes sense now, is because we're in the same fleet, I can use the tractor beam to bring that ship up to me for repairs. I don't have to wait and go to him to use my repair tentacles. I can just make him come hither, and then, you know, repair him basically, which is well, that's a bonus. And interestingly, we have got a couple of nice ships that could be good, shall we say, pinatas of resources if we can catch them. We've got a conduit just there, and we have a bastion. So I'm tempted to bring in a purely offensive ship to hopefully go after that conduit. Now, oh, it's just started raining. Now, what I'm thinking of is something specifically to attack surface ships. And I think what a good one for that as an offensive ship would be a sub. Now, I think I will bring in, I have got an S-class submarine, which will go out to anything within about 4,000 meters. So let's bring that in, I think. So I'm sure you'll see a video on the history of this, but it'll be an interesting little fight. It stays on the surface. There's a lot of metal, as you can tell, because submarines have to be a lot of metal, otherwise they don't sink. But basically it's got two modes, 3 modes depending on the thing. It only goes into attack mode if the vessel it's after is under the water or on the water. It doesn't go into attack mode for aircraft. That's all in ACB controlled inside. Hopefully I showed that in the video. But it's got many torpedoes, and it will stay on the surface and try and do high speed until it's close, about 3,000 meters. Then it goes underwater for the actual final attack. So it's in periscope mode, I think, at the moment, and as you can see, it's got some items on the periscope. And once it goes into, we've got familiar attack mode. Oh, we have got into attack mode. So he is going after something. I do have cameras on here actually. He's aiming over that way for something. That could be the Shuriken. But I'm hoping more that he's going to go for that conduit. On the surface, he will do about 14 meters a second. That's the intention. And although he's at periscope depth at the moment, by the looks of it, and then under the water, he does slow down a lot, which I don't need to do, but is historical for submarines. In this game, they don't. They can seem to go as fast under the water as they can on top, but reality is all of that extra drag, etc., does make submarines go slower underwater. So he's actually put his periscopes down, which normally means he's under the water a fair bit. The guns on there do have super cavitating. Anyway, let's let it do its thing. And the conduit and the bastion seem to be having a bit of a duel between each other. And the fair meal is just taking advantage of it by the looks of it. Hopefully. He's still putting torpedoes into the conduit, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, my other ships have not quite got out there as quickly as I would have liked, but it's still doing the job. Well, this is not necessarily handy. We've now got an ICBM on the pitch, so to speak. So it's going to be who's this ICBM going for? Nuclear weapons. No one said about bringing nuclear weapons onto the. Hang on, the ICBM's going for the Bastion. Well, if it wants to blow itself up, I'm not going to get in its way. Oh. That looked like torpedoes from the sub, actually. We now need to take that right, I need this resource point, because that is going to be a shed load. 49,000. Yes, that is good. The sub is still doing its thing. Let me just go and have a look at the sub. Although it's not immune from taking damage. As I said, with the level, I've actually got torpedoes in here somewhere. Someone's firing torpedoes. That's interesting. We do have inbound torpedoes, I think. Yeah. There's someone firing torpedoes at us. I think the Bastion is the only contact really we've got out of here at the moment. But yeah, there is some torpedoes coming into us. Maybe it was the Bastion. Because it drops sonar buoys, distractions, as well as interceptors. So yeah, okay, I think we are. His torpedoes are heading towards that bastion, getting some nice hits coming in there. But the cram shells are occasionally jumping in and getting us, but in general I think he's done well. Let me come off of there. I think I can I can release, yeah, I can release you. Release, sir. You are free to once again join your brethren. And I do want to make sure that these are all set up. 1, 3,
moving now.
2.
Returning to formation. Moving
So I
now.
want all of the fair meals in basically the same area, so when they go into attack they'll
Moving
all
now.
go roughly at the same time.
Moving now.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Hopefully that will work. So they more work as a squadron of fair meals rather than each one individually. Have we got all of those resources yet? Well, looks like we've got a large ship coming in. This could be somewhat more of a challenge for me. Repentance. I think this is about as difficult. Yep, I'm recording. Just want to make sure I am recording. It's about as most difficult ship I've seen so far at this level, and could well be a fair bit of a challenge for us. Let's take off these particular resource and restart the fight. This could be interesting to see how we do against the flying vehicle. It's certainly the biggest flying vehicle we've had come in against us so far. And I'll see if I can see what's happening to it. Now I have brought in another corvette, and we got a missile, and the corvette's anti-missile systems worked well there. That's great. Another missile coming in. One's damaged and one got through to the corvette. But we've got a lot of AA fire coming in there. There's a lot of 20mm tracer coming in. You'll have to excuse the moving around the... Again, let me just see if I can get into free camera mode. If I hit in there, hit auto... No, that didn't work. Let me go back to here. Now I thought last time I went here, I went into there. Now let's go in there, there. No, didn't work. Okay, it worked last time. It didn't work this time. Typical. It's not consistent. I thought that worked. Anyway, let's see if we can keep roughly in the right area for him. So our anti-missile systems are working against these missiles that are coming in. That's good. Oops, we're getting a bit of moving around. And we, the old 20mm, I think I've said that in some of the things. It's sort of effective at taking out exposed flight components, etc. The 40mm will be, it's obviously trying to front side us by the looks of it, the way it's holding itself there. But they sort of start hitting vulnerable parts and then it starts to have problems. But I think at some point I'll have to upgrade them, and the 20mm make them, I don't know, maybe some AT to get inside. They weren't really designed against alloy, they're more of an anti-wood system. But we can see lots of damage coming in here, and we've got a lot of confetti coming off this Repentance. I think it's Repentance, wasn't it? How big was it? Oops, I missed that. Come on, come on. It's 95,000, so it's bigger than any of the ships we've got. It's not bigger than our fleet. Let's see, have we got anyone that's trying to help? We've got actually quite everything's on combat except the very close range support ships. I've renamed some of the ships, by the way. We'll go through that in a minute. But if some of the ships circle the Repentance, they should actually get some shots in at its rear. I think actually one of them is. Yes, we've got a harbour defence motor launch over here, so he's going to be firing at the rear. Actually, luckily, it looks like he's not focusing on me. He's on my ship. He's focusing on the corvette, seeing that as a bigger threat. So there's a lot of fire coming in, and so far, well, we're sort of damaging him, I guess. I don't have any way of seeing what his damage level is, unfortunately. Or do I? No, I do. If I go here, so he's down to 87%, so he is, you know, slowly being whittled away, whilst my miner is going off, and I have an armed escort of an armed miner there, armed merchant there, a second armed merchant over that way, and some of the fair meals are over that way at the moment. So the two corvettes are basically, we should have two corvettes out here somewhere. We've got HMS Gladioli and the HMS Daisy. So they're basically circling around using their the 48 pom-poms, 48 mils, which are basically HE, throwing lots of HE out at this. That's right, let's go on to one of the, let's go on to HMS Daisy. Let's see how Daisy is doing. Oop, let's come off of that so I can see. So HMS Daisy here. It's obviously using its 3-pounder, the pom-pom, and the 20 mil. So, okay, it's not too bad. I will admit these were more designed as an anti-deep water guard rather than anti-white flare, but I think sheer volume is counting for a lot here. And even my own guns are having a go. I might have to turn around, of course, once I this goes down, although where's he at now? 57%. He's going down. He's close enough that I think all of the resources should get transported. There he goes. Let's have a look. Control R. Let's see if all the ships. No, we didn't pick it up. Let's give it a second. It could be that when the... So we've got HMS Gladioli, because it was a flower class, so I've renamed HMS Gladioli and HMS Daisy, because that seemed to fit in. Yeah, I know. Is that going to grab that? Now, is there a chance when HMS Gladioli goes past this, it will push it in? I think it might not. Let's give ourselves,
Moving now.
to be sure, let's send the fleet back to make sure that we do actually pick up those resources. It's another 24,000, and with the extra miner, even with building the corvette, where I actually built an extra armed cargo ships. So we've got the Empire Faith, which is an armed cruiser, the Empire Falmouth, which is a also, because there didn't be just names that I found on the database beginning with F, but if you've got some better ideas, feel free to let me know. It just seemed to fit in with what I was thinking of at the time, so to speak. And we got HMS Supreme as a I think we got that. No, HMS Supreme as an S-class submarine seems to make sense. Something begin with S. As I come up with ships, I'll either name them after historically ships that were named after those fleets, after that type of ship, or something in keeping. So if it's a type R, I'll use names beginning with R, which is the way that actually the very often the Royal Navy did name its ships. They would either find a particular letter, or based upon the first naming of a ship, and a lot of the other ships would be named similarly or using the same letter, for want of a better word. Okay, we need that. We want those resources. So let's grab those resources, and then my plan is to get into a resource zone and just potentially get through to a next level. So I'm actually on now the bridge of a new ship, the sloop HMS Hastings, who's just launching a nice little mine load of mines out at this sacrilege. Oh, double E worked on that one. Interesting. He's just launched a load of mines. We had a sacrilege come in, which is another little resource pinata, really. It's got a lot of missiles, which is problematic. And I think there was a load of, yes, there's the octuple simple weapons, but we've got torpedoes coming in from the fair meals and a few others. Oops, the dog's having a bark outside. Never mind. I don't know if you can hear that. Sorry about the noise from outside. I will go and have a look at that in a minute. But yes, the sacrilege. This is the Hastings. So just brought this in. Again, there'll be a video about it. So it's a little bit. Got a couple of nice little guns. That 48 mils not firing for some reason, but we won't worry about that for the moment. I'll have a look at that, check that out in my own testing later on. So the height of the AI on that sacrilege is for some reason underwater, and the pom-pom, and this is a quad pom-pom, didn't really like it. But quick little change of the controller, and we're away and flying again. So it's got a couple of 4-inch guns, so they're a little bit better guns. You saw those mines firing out, which are basically a small missile with a 1 turn, and I use them as an equivalent of a depth charge thrower for close range. You see they go up, turn, and then they have a little burst of energy, and they've got staggered 1 turns, because obviously we don't know, and then a magnet turns on. They cover quite a wide area. Can be a bit problematic when your own troops are in there, but otherwise it sort of works. The Sacrilege is quite a big ship, and I brought this ship in now because I was thinking about going up a level. If I just go, I'll go back. We'll just finish this Sacrilege off. What I really need is some more torpedoes. For some reason, the fair meals just don't seem to want to get close to this to attack, which is what I really need to come in and give this pounding. The sub, I think, is in the area. So a lot of noise there. The sub is in the area, giving it a good bit of attention. And it's obviously not moving, so it's only a matter of time now until that's taken out. So yeah, let's not worry about really watching it to its end. So after picking up all of the resources from the sacrilege and that repentance, we've got a fair bit in stock at the moment. We've got, to see, 474,000 out of 600 basic capacity. I think that's enough to be going with, and see, it's put me in free lock mode again. Can never get there when I want to get there. Anyway, no, didn't work that time. Did that, came back, and yeah, I mean, in preview, did that work every time? Let's have a look. If I go there, look at that, press E. Oh, okay, that seemed to work. Anyway, we're heading towards the red zone there. I might have to just take control, I think, to make sure we get in there, because the AI is not necessarily the best at navigating at times. So let's just make sure we stay heading in the right direction for that red zone. Don't want to miss it by accident. And we'll go up a level. Now, we've got enough resources to potentially bring in something a little bit more powerful than just that sloop, which is good. But I'm going to see what we go up against first. So we'll take our fleet through as is. So it's a little bit of a hodgepodge starter fleet at the moment. And then we'll see if it needs to be updated a little bit, let's say. And through the gate we go into a new zone. What we'll do is we'll say warp in plane, harder warp, difficulty 5. Okay, so we'll save progress there just to be on the safe side, and we'll have a look what's in our vicinity. New area, make sure no one's got lost. Yeah, I think everyone's with us. So red, from memory, red increases the difficulty and green reduces the difficulty. There is I think blue takes you to a zone with no spawning. Right, nothing in range at the moment. Let's see if I go to resource mode. No resource zones in range either. And also, just for going through zones, I did find out an answer to something that I had from last video, in that with the weather, the more westerly you go, the better the weather is. Easterly is basically good, bad weather. So at the moment, I don't mind the weather it is, with the occasional rough sea. It makes things interesting. Okay, so we're in a stable position. Everybody's sort of in their positions as such. Let's just make sure everything's, yeah, everyone's sort of coming where they're supposed to.
Moving now.
Gladioli, where's Daisy? And Daisy's on the rear. So we're covering all areas. And let's see, Falmouth. We've got lots of resources. Plenty of resources going down at the moment. So we're going to need to find some resources soon.
Moving now.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to leave it at this time. So just, what do we get? We just two new ships coming in. What I think I will look at next is we'll give this particular zone a go, And then maybe if I need some more offensive ships, the fleet defense ships, something to be a little bit harder hitting. I have got some more ships ready to go before we start raising their early World War II vessels and one World War One type of vessels, or they're pre-war built anyway, so they're not overly powered. They are larger, of course, and then we can upgrade the corvettes, etc. we've got for new ships if needed. Anyway, that's it for now. Yeah, happy with the current lay of the land, for want of a better word. Our fleet has done okay. Not ideal, there's some bits that really need changing, but it's been easy so far. So I've had an easier particular journey. Hopefully the video has been a little bit better. Still annoying, sometimes it goes into, let's just try this. If I go there, select that, go back. No, that didn't work that time. No, so sometimes that works. Just click on there and then click on there, maybe click on there. No. No, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, okay. Just make it so hit tab 3 times, 2 times. That would be nice. 1, 2, 3. No, doesn't work. You know, just wishing it doesn't make it work. Anyway, that's it for now. Comments down below. Suggestions for ships World War II. I've got some in mind to do, but some suggestions would, you know, I may look at them. Also, I'm going into post-war, so I've actually already built as an example, HMS Daring, which is 1950s 1960s era boats. I'm not limiting myself to World War II, but that would be a stage on. The next stage will be during and end of World War II type of level of ships. Then I'll go on to post World War II, and then into Cold War, and then modern, and then futuristic. So we'll see how we go from there. Anyway, leave comments. As always, keep playing the game and have fun.